is the thief.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Business Funding Masterclass. I'm your host, Jamal Johnson, aka the Credit Protector. Tonight, we're going to be deep diving into some of the secrets and fundamentals of getting access to capital for your business. We're going to be talking about a lot of information that you typically do not see online, a lot of tips and tricks and strategies that you typically don't see put together in one presentation. We try to separate the information, break it down so you're not hit with information overload or you feel like it's too much to understand. But tonight, I'm giving it all to you. I'm pulling back the curtain tonight and showing you the behind the scenes of what happens and what is truly needed to get access to six figures in funding. We're going to talk about business funding basics. I'm also going to share multiple methods of getting access to capital even when you have bad credit. This is information that's typically not shared publicly, but we're going to share it tonight. Also, how to get $100,000 in your next funding. I definitely appreciate everybody tapping in, especially on a beautiful football Sunday. So as you tap in, as you come in, just tell me where you're joining in from, and we're going to keep it rocking and rolling. We'll love to know where everyone is checking in from. Now, this class is going to be different because I'm going to be talking about methods that you typically do not see openly discussed online. Not only with that, these methods are the same exact methods that I've used to help dozens, if not hundreds, of small business owners and individuals get real funding results. And I'm constantly in the lab learning new methods, new lenders, and new ways to get access to capital for my business owners. My goal with all of this is to give you as much value as humanly possible today. And at the end of it all, if you feel that you need more assistance, because it's just so much information, so many networks to navigate through, that I'm going to give you the opportunity to work with me later on tonight. Now, who is this class for? I got to be very transparent with everybody on who this class is for. And also let me know who you are. Okay? If you're generally an entrepreneur or an investor, do me a favor, drop the letter I in the chat if you're an entrepreneur or an investor. If you're an established business owner, just drop the word owner in the chat. And if you're a new entrepreneur, you're one entrepreneur, meaning you're still investigating, you're under 2 years, then just put in new. Okay. An established entrepreneur or business owner, that means you've been in business or on your entrepreneurial journey for 2 years or more, put owner in the chat. If you're under 2 years, that means you're new for the most part, then just put new in the chat. Let's see who we got. All right, I see some eyes. Shout out to my investors. Okay, owner, 15 years. All right. New entrepreneur. Okay, very cool. Very cool. Now, I got to be honest. Who is this class not for? I've given this class multiple times, and after that, I typically see who's benefiting from this information. One is if you're not in the world of entrepreneurship or an investor, this information typically ends up being hard to digest because it's very specific to that realm. Because we use our credit to scale, grow, and invest. We don't use it simply to buy things we can't afford. We don't use it simply to just maintain the status quo. We want to excel and go above and beyond the status quo and create the life that we truly desire. There's also not for anyone who doesn't take action, I'm sorry to all my folks who love analysis paralysis, my deep dive researchers, and my looky loos. Shout out to y'all. We appreciate the viewership, but we want you to take action. This is information that can actually help you if you put it to good use. And if you're unsure of what you want, why? Because we're going to be unlocking how to get access to six figures in capital. And that is dangerous if you don't know what you want to use the money for. The last thing you want to do is get access to six figures in capital and end up in six figures worth of debt because you didn't know exactly what you wanted to do with that income. I can't stress enough, it's vitally important that you have a plan. Now we got all that out the way, right? Imagine you paid $5,000 for this class, because I did, to get this information and bring it all to you. I spent over $20,000 and I continually invest in myself through mentorships, memberships, masterminds, and networking programs. This is your opportunity to get the inside scoop on what we do as funders and those that help others get access to capital. Take notes and apply the information. Feel free to drop questions that you want to ask. And lastly, you got to be committed to action. If you're an action taker, even those that are watching this on YouTube, drop action in the chat if you're an action taker. Perfect. Yep. Yep. So a couple of hard truths. 82% of businesses are going to experience cash flow issues at some point in time, no matter what. And how do we know this? Because how many businesses do you remember from your childhood? Like, I'm dating myself. I'm an 80s baby, right? How many businesses do you remember growing up as an 80s baby that no longer exists? Now, let me help you out. Now, if you're not an 80s baby, you're 2000s baby, shout out to you. Shout out to you. But for my 80s babies, right? Maybe some of these companies, you've heard of these before. Sears, Ames, right? Toys R Us. Toys R Us, right? Woolworth. These are companies that we thought growing up, they were going to be around forever, right? They were around when our parents were children. They were around when we were children into adulthood. KB Toys. And now look at them. They're gone, right? Completely gone. Why? Because business is constantly evolving. And businesses need to maintain cash flow to continue to keep up with the evolution of society, the evolution of technology, and the evolution of business itself. We're now in a global economy where now the biggest company who can get you the product fastest is the winner. But all of that needs funding and capital so that you can continue to scale and grow and continue to evolve your business. How many of us know the story of Blockbuster, right? I remember going in, walking through the store, right? Searching for the tape that I wanted. And of course, you will always, they give you 7 days, but you always forget. You always end up paying a late fee, always. And then they charge you even if you don't rewind the tape. Like, I always forget to rewind the tape. Like, I was 12. You know what I mean? Like, of course. But who came along, right? Redbox, where you can rent a CD from a vending machine in front of a McDonald's or a CVS, making it convenient. Then Netflix came about, where you didn't even have to leave your house to get the same videos. It was delivered to you instantly with no late fee and no limit on how long you can keep the video. It completely revolutionized how we absorbed our entertainment. And Blockbuster couldn't keep up. They didn't have the ability, the foresight to continually use the funding and the revenue that they're getting in to grow and evolve. You don't want to be like Blockbuster. You always want to be in a position where you're constantly looking for funding so you can continue to grow. Think about this, right? Apple is a $3 trillion company, 3 trillion with a T. Even being one of the biggest, most profitable companies in the world, in the history of the world, they still have $100 billion worth of debt. Why? Because they're using their debt to grow. They're using their debt to expand. They're using their debt to research. They're using their debt to perform market research. That's how they're able to have a total net worth market cap of $3 trillion while also having $100 billion in debt, right? Good debt, bad debt. Debt is good if it's helping you grow. If my net worth is increasing because I'm bringing on more debt and using that debt to scale up, it's considered an asset in some ways and not a lot of liability. You always want to be in position to continually scale and get access to capital will allow you to continually scale. That's also the important part of having someone on your team that understands how to get access to the capital based on your business and the need and your needs of where you are. Now, in big business, they call it a CFO, right? In the small business, we call that business development. We call that a coach, right? Someone who's been where you have been and has gone through it. It can help you get to the next level. Now, quick check in for everybody, whether you're here in the Zoom or you're watching this live. How's your search for funding going right now? Are you planning your funding? Are you still researching what bank is a good bank? Critical grind. That's what's up. Shout out to you. Action takers, right? Where are you in your journey? How's it going? Let me know. Drop it in the chat. Now, anybody feel like this? It's been kind of a bumpy road for you. You've been rejected a couple of times, or the times that you've been approved, you got a crazy high interest rate. Like rates just dropped, but it doesn't really help when you're already locked into like a 25% credit card, right? Or you have a vehicle loan that's in the double digits. Or you got applied and you have low limits. Like you really need $50,000 to grow your business the way that it needs to grow, but instead you only got 5 or 6. Or you're so new that you're trapped in analysis paralysis and you just end up looking like my guy here in the pool and he's just like, I don't even know what to do at this point, man. Should I go with Bank of America, Chase? Do I do a business credit card? Do I do PG? Do I build up my business credit? I mean, I don't even know what the hell to do. So I just feel stuck at the moment. Right. I've been there. Right. And I'm going to talk a little bit about my story a little later. And it's not uncommon to feel that way because the gurus, the banks, they don't want you to know this information. They want you to continue to guess. They don't want to give you a clear blueprint on exactly what you need to do to get the money. They want you to feel like you have to rely on them. They want you to feel like they are, in fact, the gatekeepers. But look, we going behind the curtain right now, right? We're not going to allow them to keep gatekeeping this information. We're not going to allow them to keep having us trapped in the dark, left to guess, stuck in analysis paralysis, right? Or completely demoralized because they keep denying us over and over and over again. Now it's time for us to dive deep and pull the curtain back. Let's understand some of the reasons that businesses get denied. And here's the thing. Even if you have good credit, you can still get denied. You can get denied with a 725. You can get denied with an 800. Business funding is different than personal funding. Personal funding, all you need is a solid credit score and a good credit report. You're good. Business funding is a bit more complex. Now, of course, having a good personal credit report helps. I mean, absolutely. You can instantly unlock business funding immediately as a startup simply by having good personal credit, but it's not the end all be all. So here are some reasons that a lot of people get denied, even when you have good credit, even when your business is doing numbers, right? The first reason is that your business is structured incorrectly. So here's an example. Here's an example of exactly what I'm talking about. Let's say you're doing your research, you're in the world of YouTube University, and you come across a video that talks about Citizens Bank. Citizens Bank has a business credit card that goes up to $50,000, no docs required. Sounds amazing. You get excited. You hop online, you open up your bank account with Citizens, you deposit a couple of dollars in there, and you go for that business credit card. And you feel like, man, I'm going to get this card. I got a 725. I'm good. I make decent income. I make about 110 a year. Like, there's no reason for them to tell me no. And guess what happens? You get denied. And you feel devastated. You feel a little stuck. You feel defeated. And you're trying to figure out, why the hell did they deny me? Here's something that they don't tell you up front. Your one is that you need to have an LLC when you want to do business with Citizens Bank. Citizens Bank does not offer business credit to sole proprietors. You applied with your beautiful 725 with your $110,000 income as a sole proprietor. That's not the right business structure for Citizens. They only want to work with LLCs, S Corps, and C Corps. So now what you have to do, you have to go back, make sure you register your LLC, have your LLC for 6 months, and then you can start applying for business credit with Citizens Bank. These are details that they don't tell you, right? You have to go through the process. You have to walk the walk to know to know that gem, right? Is not common knowledge. Another example is that you apply for the wrong product at the wrong time. So let me tell you guys a story about this. I had a client who was looking for funding to finish an Airbnb project. He's doing a build out, he bought the land, he's doing rehab, buying all the things to make the house look beautiful for his Airbnb. And he wanted to get access to business lines of credit. I said, okay, cool, no problem. Let's take a look at it. Right? He was referred to me. Someone said, oh, hey, Jamal can get you 150,000 in business lines of credit. It's possible. Yes, I know how to do that. If you're in position, right? And this is why I tell my clients, everyone is fundable with the right strategy. And that's what I want y'all to know. Everyone is fundable with the right strategy. And if you believe that, drop I'm fundable in the chat, whether you're watching this live on the Zoom or you're watching it on YouTube, right? Put in the chat, I'm fundable, because yes, you are. Now let's get back to the story. He wanted business lines of credit. Now here's the thing. His business was only 10 months old, okay? Business lines of credit will typically unlock once your business is 12 months old and you can start showing revenue in that business. Once we start getting to lines of credit and loans, they want to see your business being of age, 12 months or older, and have revenue. His business, unfortunately, was only 10 months old. So he could not apply for a business line of credit. That's what we mean by applying for the wrong product at the wrong time. You apply for a business line of credit. If your business isn't old enough, whether you got good credit or not, you're going to get denied. And he had a 735 with no missed payments, extensive history on his credit, but his business simply wasn't old enough, applying for the wrong product at the wrong time. So what we did do is that we pivoted, and instead of going for business lines of credit, we went for business credit cards, to which he still was able to get about $80,000 in business credit cards. That was the right product for his exact situation, right? There's always a way to get access to the capital. It's just understanding what you actually qualify for. Other reasons that you don't have the right type of address. With all the fraud that's been going on since 2020, banks are double and triple checking everything. And if anything doesn't match up, they are running away, okay? You want to avoid any type of address that appears as a P.O. box. You want to avoid any address that shows up as some kind of mail receiving company. So that means if it shows up as a UPS store, or if it shows up as the post office, they're not going to accept that address. They want a real physical address. True story, I applied for a checking account with TD Bank. Through the process, they actually Googled the address that I gave them, and they made me change it. They said, this isn't an address. Like, we pulled up your address, but it's just showing like the side of the store or a back of a building. Like, do you have another address you can use? I said, yeah. So I gave them another address. That one showed up as an actual building, and then they allowed me to open up the checking account. That's how important it is to have the right type of address. You do not want to use P.O. boxes, UPS stores, and you definitely don't want to use your personal address, because that now takes away the privacy that you have. When you use your personal address for your business, all I have to do is Google the name of your company, and bam, I'm looking at the front of your house or your apartment or your condo. People are crazy. You do not want them to have that direct access to you simply by typing in your business name. One of the most common reasons that we get denied is, of course, we have a low credit score, right? If you have under a 680, typically traditional banking is not available. There are special programs, right? I have access to various CDFIs and SSBCI. These are different state-run and federal initiatives that allow special financing to business owners with less than perfect credit, specifically business owners, because we're talking about business funding. So this is Philip. Philip had over $80,000 in debt, but he wanted funding. Sometimes the question comes up, well, Jamal, how quickly can we get the funding? We can get the funding as quickly as you can qualify for the funding. Where I'm not a musician, I am not a direct lender, right? We can't just magically pull a lever and money falls out the sky. We still have to make sure we're in position to qualify for the funding, right? That's why everyone is fundable, because we understand what the banks want to see. So since we know what the banks want to see, That's what we're going to show them, right? We're not going to apply when we're not in position. The beautiful thing about working with the coach, working with a funding specialist, is that we know what the banks want to see. We're going to give you the opportunity to understand what the banks want to see. And if you're not in position, it's okay. This is the opportunity we get into position, right? It's not a magic wand. But here's what Philip had to say.
Helped me pay off $85,000 of personal debt, which grew my score 143 points, which allowed me to get $431,000 of business financing to work with my software business and my new camper rental business.
Now, he had some debt that he had to pay off. It took him some time, right? Had to do what he had to do. He had to pay down $85,000 worth of debt. But if you take $85,000, I would pay down $85,000 worth of debt if it's going to allow me to get access to over $400,000 and launch 2 businesses. I do that every day, twice on Sunday. Was that a good deal? Was that a good idea to pay off $85,000 worth of debt to get access to $400,000 worth of capital and to launch 2 businesses that he's now using to cash flow, that he's now using to build generational wealth for him and his family? And not just one asset, he built 2. Now, quick question for everybody in the chat, if you're watching this on Zoom or on YouTube, how confident do you feel you're able to get funding within the next 30 to 60 days? 1 means you feel like you're not fundable at all. You can't do anything about it. You're not ready. 10 is you're absolutely ready. You just maybe are stuck in analysis paralysis and you just need to break free and you need somebody to say, hey, go here, press this button and click apply. Where are you at? Now, when I ask this question, most people end up saying they're between like the 5 to 7 range. And a few people once or twice will say they're at a 10. So a little bit about me. I was a government employee. I left in 2022 and I got into this space. Real short, sweet is that I died. And it sucks to die, honestly. And when you die, they keep sending you bills. I don't like that. I think they need to change that. They definitely need to change that. Now, I didn't die literally, but I did die financially because somehow, some way, they had marked me as deceased on my credit report. And that literally wiped out all of my credit. I went from having like a 680 something to no credit whatsoever. I got denied for a car. I think it popped up because I was actually applying for a car, and they couldn't approve me because they couldn't get my credit report. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, I already have a car, I already have all this stuff in my name. You should be able to approve me. Like, my credit isn't amazing, but it's decent. They're like, nah, nothing comes up. So you can't get a car today. So I was pissed. So it took me about 30 days just to figure out how to get a credit report. And then I just got on this deep dive, right? And I was at the end of it, I had an 800 credit score and I was able to get over $200,000 in funding from understanding the power of credit. And I realized that there are a lot of people in my community that are bootstrapping it. We hear this all the time. Oh, bootstrap it. You got to get it out the mud. I built this all by myself. Y'all, you don't have to bootstrap nothing. It's okay to kickstart your business with someone else's money. Like, you don't have to bootstrap. You don't have to live customer to customer, client to client. hoping and wishing that someone pays you today. Like, you can use credit to launch your business to the next level. You don't have to bootstrap it. Now, am I against bootstrapping a business? Absolutely not. It's amazing if you can launch a business without any debt. It's an amazing thing. But I talk to so many small business owners that can't get a website because they don't have $200 to make a website. I talk to so many business owners who cannot simply get the most basic materials for their business because they don't have $1,000. They don't even have the filing fee of $100, $200 to file and make and actually register their LLC with the state that they're living in or the state that they want to do business in. These are small, small things that we can simply overcome with simply having access to credit. We don't have to bootstrap it. We don't. Like, we just don't have to bootstrap it. We also don't have to run around asking everybody and their mama for money. We don't have to ask our family for money. We don't have to go out and give out pieces of ownership to private investors just to get capital. You can absolutely start off being self-sufficient with just good credit and fund yourself. Like, for me, I enjoyed the idea of being self-sufficient. I enjoyed the idea of knowing that if I need to go buy a new software, even if that new software is $2,000, but I know it's going to help me make $4,000, I can use my credit and buy that $2,000 software. I don't have to think, oh my God, I wish I had this amount of money. If I had this amount of money, I could just do so much. All I did was understand how credit worked, understand the power of building up my credit, understanding the importance of having a properly structured business. A properly structured business is vitally important. It's not just an EIN. It is not just a LLC. We need both. We need an EIN and we need to be registered with the state or states that we want to do business in. Those two things. And now we're able to unlock $200,000 in funding from the bank. Now, what is funding? There's a lot of different ways to get access to capital. Capital is just money. Money for your business is funding, right? That's all it is. You're getting money for your business. Super simple. Now, what can it be used for? Now, if you're watching this, drop in the chat what you want to use your business funding for. Are you looking to scale? Are you looking for working capital? Do you need to buy equipment like a new truck, a dump truck, equipment for landscaping? Are you looking to buy real estate? Maybe we got any real estate investors? Any fixer flippers? Are you looking to do the Burr method, right? Or maybe you're looking to develop some properties and put them on Section 8. Or you need to do marketing and advertising, right? You can use funding for any of these reasons. And I highly recommend that you decide on what you want to use the funding for, because that's part of the process. We have to know what we want to use this funding for so we know exactly how to maximize it, so we don't end up crushed under a bunch of debt. We want to turn that debt into profit. We want to turn our credit into cash. Now, here's some of the traditional ways we go about getting funding. You got your business lines of credit. We spoke about that a little earlier. You got zero interest financing. Real estate. There are a ton of different ways to fund real estate. You got hard money lenders. You got syndicates. You got private investors, right? Of course, we always have the banks with different mortgage opportunities, right? There are thousands of mortgage companies and hundreds of different mortgages available to fund your real estate. You also have SBA loans and auto loans. Another method is credit stacking. With this method, right? And let me know if you've ever heard of or seen credit stacking explained before, right? It's been all over the internet. It's a pretty common practice. This is where you take and get applications and loans and credit cards from multiple banks to maximize the amount of funding that you want. Very easy example. I had a client who needed $30,000 to buy a truck. When they went to Bank of America, they only got $5,000. Said, well, we still need 25 more. So what we're going to do is we went to Apple. Apple gave us 10,000. And then I told him to check out a local credit union. That local credit union, once we built a relationship with them, gave them 15,000. Between these three organizations and institutions, they got their $30,000 and they was able to buy their truck. The great thing about this is that you have more opportunities to get the capital. More lenders means more opportunities. It also spreads out your risk. It also spreads out your risk as you're going through this, right? Because during these economic times right now, in a lot of groups that I'm in, a lot of conversations I'm having with people, those with larger limits, $40,000, $50,000 limits, are getting their limits slashed. People with HELOCs or business lines of credit are getting their lines of credit frozen, and some are even getting their lines of credit called by the bank. What is called by the bank? It basically means that the bank calls you and says, hey, you know that $200,000 business line of credit that you got, we're going to shut it down. And you need to pay us back all the money that you borrowed from it within 30 days. You don't want that to be you because you only bank with one bank. You want to have multiple relationships with multiple institutions so that you can pivot when necessary, right? Never have all your eggs in one basket. I'm sure everyone heard that, right? Never put all your eggs in one basket. You always want to have multiple partners because that's what, when you're a small business owner, the banks are your partner, right? You have your real partners if you're giving up equity, and if you're searching for credit, the banks are your best friends. You always want to have multiple partners when you're doing business and going for funding.
I can't even believe this.
Now, this is Joella. We use a similar credit stacking strategy with her to help her unlock over $80,000 in funding. This is a little bit of what she had to say.
Y'all, like 4 Amexes. So the Amex Gold, the Amex Platinum, the Amex Blue Cash, and the Amex Blue Card approved. Navy Federal credit card approved. That one was for 15,000. Chase Business Card for 50,000. Bank of America Business Card 16,000. One of the Amexes was 4,600. I'm waiting on the amount for the other one, and then there's no presets limits for the Amex Gold or Platinum. And my credit score.
Mm-hmm. See, we went to several different banks in that example, right? Not only did we go to Chase, we went to Bank of America. We also went to American Express. And by doing that, we kept with every new approval she got, that increased the amount of capital she had access to scale her business. Now, question for everybody watching, whether you're watching this on YouTube or on the Zoom, what are you using your funding for? What would you do with $50,000 to $100,000 in your business? Right. And typically what I would do during this time, I would drop a link in the chat. Everyone would be able to apply, do a pre-approval with a soft pull, right? They would do a pre-approval with a soft pull and see what they get approved for. The last time I did this on my last master class, Gloria actually got approved for $20,000. The week before that, Tori got 18,000. The week before that, Mike got $11,000. Right? But for the sake of time, we're going to keep it moving. Now, here are the 3 C's of bank fundability. These are the 3 things that banks are looking for when it comes to funding. They want to look at your credit. They want to see your cash flow. They want to know if you have collateral. Any of these 3 items or combination of these 3 can be used to get access to capital. And I'm going to show you a few in a little bit, but first is your credit. The FICO score is important. We can't talk about getting access to money from a bank without talking about the importance of a FICO score. You need to have a good FICO score, at least a 680 or above, right? That means you're making your payments on time. They're looking at how much of your credit are you actually using. They're looking at how old your accounts are, and they're looking at how much outstanding debt do you actually owe. These are all important factors that the banks instantly look at every single time you submit an application. Now, here are the details of what banks want to see specifically when you're going for funding. No late payments in the last 3 years. You want to have 2 trade lines over $10,000. You want to make sure your credit card utilization, that's how much of your available credit you're using, is between 1 to 9%. You want to make sure that the age of your credit is 5 years or more, maybe 4 years, but under 4 years, I've seen applications being instantly denied because they're under 4 years. And you only want to have 2 hard inquiries within the last 6 months. Now, I get it. Everyone doesn't have that because that's damn near perfect credit. So what if you don't have a 680, right? Here are some ways that you can improve your credit. And our team does also help you improve your credit. I do have a team. I do actually work with a partner organization that helps my clients improve their credit while we focus on getting you in position for maximum fundability. Everything we do is to help our clients get to the finish line of securing capital. Now, here's some things you can do before working with my affiliate. You can pay down your current debts. You can add new positive accounts. You could do that by opening up new accounts. You're going to want to dispute any negative information on your credit report. Okay? It's time consuming. If you don't have the time to dispute the information, then work with someone who does. You can work with my affiliate. The link is down in the description of this video for those that are on YouTube. For those that are watching Zoom, just leave a comment in the chat and I can get you the link so that you can work with them. You can also add trade lines. This is adding on as an authorized user. You can get additional trade lines by either asking friends or family to add you on to their credit card accounts, or you can pay to be added onto a credit card account, right? We do offer trade lines as well. Now, for those that are like, man, I'm nowhere near a 680. Like I'm still in the 5s, I'm in the 4s. How can I still get access to capital? Here are some methods that they don't tell you at the bank. And I haven't seen this covered anywhere on the internet. So here are some creative ways. One is that you can borrow against your retirement account, right? Whether you have a 401k or 403b, a 547c, a or a TSP, right? If you have some kind of retirement account, you can borrow against that account, sometimes up to 70% of its value with no hard pull, no credit check whatsoever. This is the perfect way to get yourself startup capital as you want to grow and launch your business. Another way to get some capital for your business is if you already have a investment portfolio, right? You have Robinhood, or maybe you got Charles Schwab, or it used to be TD Ameritrade back in the day. If you have, Merrill Lynch, whatever, if you have a stock portfolio, you can actually borrow up to against 70% of your stock portfolio, use that money to invest into your business, right? Borrowing against your stock portfolio has its own risk. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just telling you, these are ways that you can get capital if you have bad credit to fund your business. You also have something called cash flow lending. Now, with cash flow lending, your business needs to be structured properly. So it needs to be EIN, registered LLC, C Corp, S Corp with the state. You need to have a business bank account, right? And you're going to connect your cash flow payment processor to your business bank account. Some lenders that offer cash flow lending, Stripe, PayPal, Square, right? Novo Bank. These are different lenders where if you are doing pretty good revenue, right? You're doing at least $5,000 for the year. They will offer you a loan based on the cash flow. And it's no credit check whatsoever. This is a completely no PG funding opportunity for you. You don't need credit in order to get some of these payment processor loans. And these loans are amazing because they go up to $150,000 with absolutely no credit check. But your business has to be structured properly. It has to be. We help our clients make sure that their business is structured properly so that it unlocks any and all no PG opportunities for them. Next is equipment financing. After that, you have building business credit, right? You have to make sure that your business is structured properly. You have to make sure that you're in good standing with the state. You have to have an EIN. Once you have those things, you can go out. You can start building with Uline, Granger, eCredible, Creative Shirt, right? No, T-Shirt Club, Creative CEO. These are just different companies that offer business credit that help you scale up your business. So if you need materials to buy, or if you need materials to renovate your house, some service providers offer services as business credit, right? On net 30, net 60, net 90 terms. You can get certain services, marketing services, where they'll help you put together a marketing plan and you don't even have to pay them for another 30 days. The idea is help you get paid with good marketing, and then you pay them on the back end, right? All of this builds up business credit to the point where you have 18 trade lines showing up on your business credit, you can start applying for other credit that is no PG. No PG means no personal guarantee, which means they are not checking your personal credit. And getting approved is a lot easier than you think. You got to optimize your credit report. That's both on the personal side or the business side. You have to build out your credit profiles. You're going to build up a banking relationship. You're going to make on-time payments. And you got to have a strategy. If you don't have a strategy, you want to work with someone that allows you to develop a strategy. This is my client, Van. She's military. She's retired military. She's an active government employee. She's a landlord, and she does fix and flips. great credit, six-figure earner, earns over $200,000 a year. In her situation, she was actually using one of those previous methods to fund her fix and flips. She was pulling out anywhere from $50,000 to $60,000 per flip. And it was taking 2 to 6 months for her to get the money to get the, hold on, sorry. What the hell? All right, cool. So she was tired of using her own retirement money to fund her fix and flips. So she hit me up. She's like, Jamal, I'm tired of using my own money. You know, what can we do? Right? I want to use business funding, but I don't have a business yet. I say, hey, Van, don't even worry about it. Listen, we can get you funding. How much are you looking for? So I just need $50,000. I said, okay, cool. We'll do 50,000 in zero interest financing. So now instead of using your money, you can take your money, you can put it back into your retirement account so that it can continue to grow tax-free until you retire. Sounds good? So absolutely. Bet. So now she's freed up her own money. Her money can go back to gaining the interest. And now she's using the bank's money at 0% to get a 20 to 50% return for every single flip that she does. I know we went through a lot. A lot of this sounds hella confusing. And they make it confusing because everyone says something different. The reason that everyone says something different is because you can only go by your experience. This is why every guru is telling you something different. Oh, do no PG. Oh, no, don't do no PG. Get your credit fixed. Oh, build business credit. You don't have to worry about personal credit. Oh, just fund yourself with grants. What's the right strategy for you based on where you are in your business? Each of those strategies are great. Each of those strategies work, but which one is the absolute best option for you? That's where working with a specialist, working with an expert comes into play. You want to eliminate the guesswork. You want to eliminate running around in circles, going from lender to lender to lender, being stressed out about securing capital. You want to spend less time completing applications and more time growing your business. And let's be honest, how much funding have you actually missed out on because you were just doing this by yourself? Right? Exactly. A lot. Because you thought you could just figure it all out. Right? If you go to enough master classes, if you go to enough YouTube channels, if you go to enough ebooks, but nothing beats having a person one-on-one who can tell you, okay, based on your specific business, your specific situation, these are the guidelines that you need to meet. And these are the guidelines that you need to meet. And this is how you're going to meet those guidelines. So we went over a lot of information today, right? Over to our next steps. What do you want to do? Are you looking for someone to actually help you? Do you want to get unstuck? Do you want to get over analysis paralysis and actually get some funding? Actually move towards a goal. Actually move towards getting your business started. Actually closing on that new property. Actually getting the equipment that you need to scale up your business. Actually hiring those 3 new people. Right? Actually getting the software that you need to make sure you have a more streamlined process on the back end, so you're not doing everything manually? Do you want to get over the hump? Do you want to know how to fix your credit so that you can actually qualify for funding? Do you need somebody to help you restructure your business? So if you're cool with it, I'm going to give you guys the next steps and give you the opportunity for us to work one-on-one. This is what I like to call an Ask Me Anything session. During this hour-long Zoom call, you can ask me anything about your particular situation, and we're going to come up with a solution for you, right? Whatever's holding you back from funding and getting over the hump, this is your opportunity to figure it out. This is the exact thing that you've been waiting for to get you to the next level. You're like, damn, I don't qualify because I have bad credit. Okay, great. Well, let's talk about fixing your credit. What does that look like? Do you want to fix it yourself, or do you want someone else to fix it? Right? Oh, I have a high interest rate. I want to refinance out of it. Great. Let's look for some options for you on how you can refinance out of the debt that you currently have. I want a debt elimination strategy. Okay, great. Let's talk about a debt elimination strategy. What credit cards are going to be best for you that are 0%, so you can do a debt consolidation and move the money around so you can pay it off faster, right? It's all about your opportunity, because I work with SBA lenders that lend up to $5 million. I work with hard money lenders if you're in real estate. But the most important thing is, what do you need? What's holding you back? And why are you afraid to move forward and actually get answers to the questions that have been keeping you stuck? This is the perfect opportunity for you to get unstuck. Not only that, you're going to get multiple bonuses. So first, you're going to get my incredible triple bundle, right? This is everything that you need to know as a startup business, and some, even if you're not a startup, even if you've been around the block a couple of times. Why? Because everyone needs to know how to make sure that their credit stays pristine. Everyone needs to know and be aware of the different businesses that are out there to scale up your business credit, right? If you want no PG funding, you got to build up your business credit. The hard part is that most people don't have any idea of how to do that. So this is the same exact blueprint, the same exact materials that I personally use to fix my credit and get access to $200,000 in funding and get a Paydex 80 score. You're also going to get a copy of this masterclass. Now, this class is running pretty quickly, but I've actually have a 2-hour version, an extended version, where we dive even deeper into different funding strategies. And we talk about things like, even if you have good credit, how to go about funding. If you have bad credit, how to go about funding, right? With live feedback and testimonials. Lastly, this is actually my favorite thing. This is my full zero interest funding sequence. This is the full sequence that I run my clients through and make $5,000 to $10,000 easily just by executing this exact sequence. You get all of this, plus we sit down for an hour and we talk face to face about your exact funding needs and your exact funding situation, right? What are you looking for? Do you need to know what banks you want to go to? Like, what is actually the thing that's stopping you? You didn't come on here on football Sunday, right, at 7 p.m., 8 p.m., which is primetime football season, just to look. just to guess. Now, what I did is I dropped the link in the chat for everybody who wants to book the consultation. You get all of this, all of those bonuses. We're going to review your personal credit if necessary, right? Some people need that. We'll review your personal credit, review your business structure. You're going to get all of this for just $97. This is only available tonight, today, because you're here on a beautiful Sunday. You could be anywhere else watching football, but I know you're serious about getting to the next level. That's why I'm offering this for only $97. You get the full bundle pack, including my complete funding sequence for $97. I charge $1,500 to come on board as a one-on-one client, plus funding. You don't have to worry about that tonight. Tonight is all about helping entrepreneurs get across the finish line and get out of their own way. You're looking to build generational wealth. You're looking to create something that will pay you and your family, not just now, but hopefully forever. Hopefully you'll get another 10 years out of it, right? Why allow yourself to think, oh, I don't really know if that's what I want? Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you want to know how to solve your problem? Why wouldn't you want to know how to move forward? Right? I have a client here. Now, this is one of my clients, Bernard. Let's get over to YouTube. Couple of technical difficulties. Bam. Let me do that. Let me do that. Do that. Let's see. All right, let me make sure I got this here. Boom. I love these technical difficulties. Is it gonna work? Oh, it's not working because I'm already on YouTube. Got it. All right. All right. Let me do this. Let me do this. Do this. Do this. Do this. Do this. So Bernard, I wanted to show that, but it's not working. Right. So what I did was I dropped the link in the chat. What I wanted to show, but I can't do it because I'm also live on YouTube, is Bernard is one of my clients, and he's worked with me multiple times, and he's a seven-figure earner. Not only does he earn seven figures, but he also owns a 5 acres of land that he's developing. And he was at the level where businesses actually reach out to him, right? The bank actually reach out to him and say, hey, Mr. Hilton, how can we help you? We see that your business is doing very well. You have strong deposits. How can we help you? What can we give you? And he didn't know. And something that I noticed about high achieving, high net worth individuals is that they're never scared to ask questions. They never feel like they know too much. Even as a seven-figure earner with a national business, an international business, he is still willing to hop on a Zoom call for one-on-one to get the exact information that he needs, right? I noticed that. I noticed that high-level entrepreneurs are always searching for new information. They're always evolving. They're always willing to take the step to get the information, because it only takes is one piece of information to get you to the next level. Like I heard something that was pretty dope, right? A guy was giving a presentation on stage, and he asked a young lady, to stand up. And he asked her, well, how much money do you currently make? And she said, I make $50,000 a year. He said, okay, cool. That's amazing. Like, do you want to be a millionaire? I said, yeah, absolutely. I want to be a millionaire, of course. He said, okay. And you say you make $50,000, right? I said, yes. Okay. like it's currently costing you $950,000 every single year that you have not figured out how to make $1 million. Every year you spend at 50, you're costing yourself $950,000. High-level entrepreneurs cut down on their ignorance tax. We take our money and we invest it into knowledge, skills, and ability to close that gap. He took the time, he made the investment of $97. On that call, I showed him exactly how he'll be able to unlock over $400,000 in funding between two banks. He is that much closer to getting access to the capital. Now he actually took that money and he continues to develop the 5 acres that he has, right? All from a $97 investment. Because he decided he wants to cut down on his ignorant tax. He wants to continually invest in himself and his abilities. By getting knowledge and information from somebody that knows a little bit more than him. Sometimes it's not a 2-hour presentation. Sometimes it's not an hour-long conversation. Sometimes it's just, I just need this one thing. If I know how to fix this one situation, if I know how to make this one tweak, it'll unlock everything for me. I had the same epiphany, right? I've paid $1,500 for a course and just got one bit of information, right? One piece of information allowed me to reach the next level, right? I couldn't figure out what I was missing. I had a PAYDEX 80 score. I had a couple of business credit cards, but I couldn't figure out how to get and use this American Express Platinum. So I paid for a class. In that class, it gave me one piece of information that I can get multiple American Expresses with one hard pull. That's all I needed. And from that point on, I instantly went out and got 6 American Express cards with one hard pull. Those 6 American Express cards were worth over $80,000 in funding for me. I absolutely got a return on my money, right? So now I dropped the link in the chat for everyone that wants to join in. I dropped the link in the chat for everybody. Also, let me drop it on YouTube as well. All right. This is only available tonight. It is not publicly available anywhere else, especially to everyone watching on YouTube. This is only available tonight. It is not on my website. It's not available on any social media. It's not in any of, it's not in the newsletter. It's not in any other email. It's only here for those that want to take action tonight. Do we have any, for those that are live on the Zoom, do we have any questions about the actual call? It's a full Q&A session. On that call, you'll be able to ask me anything about your business structure, about your credit profile, about a bank that you're looking at, right? Even if you have bad credit, you have credit repair questions, right? We'll be able to address any and all of those issues. Do you have any questions? I want to give you the opportunity to ask questions about the call so that you're not stuck in analysis paralysis. You're not stuck churning, thinking it over and over and over. Is this the right thing? Is this the right decision? Right? You want to get out of your own way. What you know has gotten you this far. If you want to go further, it's best to learn from someone else. Pick their brain to help you get to the next level. Right? Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, always talks about the mastermind, right? Being able to connect with great minds from a multitude of different backgrounds in order to exchange ideas and get to the next level. Sometimes you have to pay to get that mastermind level information, right? And there's nothing wrong with investing in yourself. Everyone's investing in themselves. I take 10% of what I make and put it into some kind of information product. I'm constantly learning new information and implementing what I know. It's not just about having the information, it's about applying the information. Right? So if there are no further questions, listen, I'm heading out. It is football Sunday. There are no questions. This is going to wrap up. This link is going to disappear once this Zoom is over. So I suggest that you click the link, book your call while you still have the opportunity to. Congratulations, everybody who